What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim and Jeris Sports Talks. And, of course, we got Jeris here today. How you doing today, Jeris?
Doing pretty well.
We got the Jeris in here, I see. Jeris, not just Jeris. Jeris. Don't him. Don't him. What's up, Mamby? What is up, DRG? Resigned Brandon, signed Godwin, signed Tyrann Mathieu, draft Ritter, and playoff. Boom. There's a recipe. We're certainly going to talk some stuff tonight. What do we have on the docket? We got the season ender. We'll discuss a little bit of the Giants game and what has transpired since then. We got some interesting Deshaun Watson stuff after the Brian Flores firing. Like, where is he going to end up? Should we bring back Sheriff? On the Warpath had a good video about it. Martin Mayhew made some comments. We'll discuss that. And then we're just going to wrap up the Washington talk of which free agents from Washington should we be interested in retaining. And then we will finish the show off discussing every single playoff game in depth and give our predictions for each one. We should have some fun with that. But how's your day there, Jeris?
I mean, it's all right.
All right.
Nothing too crazy.
Do you ever have a good day? Do you ever have a day that you're like, man, today was wonderful. Today was amazing.
I mean, I haven't had one in a long time.
Hanging out with me is not amazing? Oh, jeez. Shots fired. Shots fired. No, just kidding. Kalen Meeks, not your average Jermaine. What's up, guys? What is up? All right, here we go. Let's hop into it. So, the Washington football team defeats the almighty Jake Fromm Giants 22-7. Huge victory for Washington going into the offseason. Absolutely massive. Are you happy we won?
Am I happy we won?
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. You know what? Yeah. Considering the fact that we're going into a new name, I guess you at least leave something behind. You leave a win behind.
Yeah.
You're going into something new. So, and like I say, the only thing I cared about the game was getting Terry over 1,000, Gibby over 1,000, and Cam over 100. I don't think Cam got over 100.
Yeah, he ended up getting hurt before he probably could.
Yeah, but
unfortunately, 2
out of the 3 things went well, so I can't complain.
No, I definitely like that too. The Terry and Gibby getting their 1,000 yards, even though it's a 17-week season instead of 16, I still think it's really cool. It's a good milestone, and I'm glad we did that for those 2 players for sure. Because it's Gibby's first time getting over 1,000. I think last year he just had like 900 and something. He didn't quite get to that 1K mark, so it's a first time.
He missed it by 1 actually.
He got to 999. Are you serious?
No, I'm talking about Cam missed it by 1.
Oh, Cam missed it by 1. I was like, I didn't realize Gibby was that close last year. No, okay, so he missed it by 1 for 100 tackles?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. He would have got there easily if we played him more in the beginning of the year. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So my thoughts on am I happy that we won this game? So now we fall to pick 11 instead of having pick number 9. I don't think if we would have lost, I think that the other 2 teams also lost that were ahead of us that we could have passed. So we would have stayed at 9. Losing 2 spots is not the end of the world. We can still have a chance at a really good quarterback in this draft if that's the direction we decide to go. But I think us winning hurt our division because now Joe Judge is fired. I think if Joe Judge would have beat Washington, they would have still had somewhat of a positive outlook on the Giants, like the front office, and I think that would have saved his job. But him losing to us after calling us a clown show, I think is what got him fired. I think that you can't call the other team a clown show and then just get dominated 22-7. Like, it was so pathetic. Jake Fromm looked horrible, but but I do understand what you're saying and what a lot of other fans are saying is you got to play to win, and we sent Washington football team out on a W. We didn't do that for the Washington Redskins. The Redskins name went out on a loss, but the Washington football team goes out on a W. We'll get a new name. We'll have a fresh start, and we'll see from there. But overall, I think I would have rather lost the game.
I wouldn't care. As long as those guys got what they got, it wouldn't bother me none.
Yeah. I would have rather have lost the game in a way that would have let the Giants know, like, we could have won. But we didn't. Just like the Eagles last year, right? Like, the Eagles could have beat us the final week of the season, but they were like, you know what? We're going to sit our starting quarterback and bring out Nate Sudfeld. And it's like, yeah, you're going to go to the playoffs, but we could have beat you. But we want a better pick. So, you know what? We'll lose this one and let you have it, and we'll move forward. But I don't know. Spirit agrees with Tim. That's all I need to say. I can end the stream now. Somebody agreed with me. Boom. That's all we needed. But, hey, no, just kidding. What's up, Spray? Protec's getting a laugh. What up, Protec? We're going to be on Protec's channel tomorrow night. What time is it, Protec, that your channel? 8 o'clock tomorrow night Eastern time. So if you haven't subscribed to Protect Sports Network, go do that, and we will be on his channel. Both Jeris and I, as well as Juan Gotti and Nadi, I believe you said, were the other guests. So it should be a fun conversation at the end of the year, kind of talking some Washington football. What up, Dr. Pig? The last 3 years, Washington has gotten a head coach fired after beating them. Rivera, Peterson, and now Judge. Yep. There you go. That's not a good thing. Where do you all think Brian Flores is going to go? You had an interesting theory. Where do you think he'll end up?
New York, the Giants.
Ooh, the Giants.
They can end up with the Giants.
I know he interviewed with the Bears. I really don't know where to predict him
Because
because
the Bears. If I'm the Texans, I pray that the Bears get him.
Yeah, because then Watson can't go there because they already have Fields.
Swap. No, It's an easy swap. If I'm the Bears, give me Justin Fields.
Oh,
give me Justin Fields. I don't have to. I don't have to. I don't have to use that. I don't have to be looking for a quarterback. I'm getting your first rounder, so I get another first,
and get another rookie, a second-year quarterback.
Get a tackle. They need a tackle. They got
they need a lot.
I'm assuming they would keep A-Rob. That would keep A-Rob there because you're getting Watson. So you keep A-Rob. You still got Mooney. You still got Kokeman. You still got David Montgomery. You use that pick on the tackle, and now guess what? Aaron Rodgers is probably screwed. And their defense is still pretty good.
Yeah, they still have some pieces on defense for sure. Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack still. They still have some pieces for sure. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. But what I was going to say is I don't know where Brian Flores is going to end up because I think he has options. Like, I think he will probably end up interviewing, unless he falls in love with the team. Like, let's say he falls in love with the Giants or something, and he's like, you know what, I don't need to interview. But I think he could potentially get an interview at every opening. Like, I think the Jags could interview him, Vikings, Bears, Broncos could potentially interview for him.
Watson.
Like, everywhere, obviously, except for Miami. But I think he's an interesting guy. But apparently there's rumors that apparently he's not a very good dude. Apparently he's kind of a butthole. Did you hear about this?
I mean, if a butthole can win me 7 games in a row, I take him. But like I say, I think he's going to want Watson. And why not go to a team that Watson still would be intrigued by, who has the ammo to go get him, which is the Giants.
Right.
So I think he'll end up with the Giants, personally.
But the Texans got Davis Mills. I liked Davis Mills, too. And he's actually showing me right. He's actually doing all right over there in Texans uniform. And Texans uniform is not where I thought he would succeed. Like, that's even above my expectations. Like, as soon as the Texans drafted him, I was like, no, they're going to destroy my man that I thought had a potential to be not a great quarterback, but a decent quarterback. But anyway, all right. We've touched on him now a couple times. You said you think that Watson's going to follow Flores. But do you think there's any shot that Washington trades for Deshaun? And would you be interested in a Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Yes, for what? Both?
You said what?
Yes, for both?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think Ron Rivera, you have to take a nice, hard look. You have to take a hard, long look. It's like, listen. Because let's say Brian Flores signed with the Giants. If I'm wrong, there's no way in the world I can let Deshaun Watson just walk over there to New York. Because that's where he's going, if that were to happen. And I know Ron knows that. So you have to make some kind of a strong pitch. You're going to have to, like I say, 3 first, 2023 second, and Duran.
3 first, second, and Duran?
Because the Giants has 2 firsts this year already. They probably would not mind giving up. or the Giants be like, you know what, we'll do the one first this year and two the next two, and probably let's say they say, you know what, we'll give up a Leonard Williams or Blake Martinez or something like that, or like a what's that safety name, Jabril Peppers, because they have the ammo.
They definitely have ammo.
If you're wrong, you can't just sit there and let stuff happen like this. So I think you go out there, you put whatever you can out there on the trade block, and just do what you got to do.
Right.
Especially if he wants to.
Tom says Deshaun carries too much drama. I don't agree with that being a reason to not go after him. I don't think that should be the reason, because there's a lot of other people throughout the league that have had things off the field happen, and then they still come back from it and actually be kind of viewed in a positive light from fans. Mike Vick, I think, is a guy that's overall pretty positive view in the fans, even though he had off the field issues. Big Ben had off the field issues. I think most people still have him in a positive light. Kareem Hunt, Joe Mixon, like these guys, like literally on video punching women, and still people have a positive view after they have come back into the league and played well, and also stayed out of trouble since. Like all four of those I mentioned, they had problems off the field. They all came back, and they all also stayed out of trouble from then on out and turned into something really, really good, right? So if I were to say don't go for Watson, it's not because of that. It would be because of the massive amount of capital we would have to give up. Like you just said, 3 firsts, a second in Duran, which if you just said that, I'm not necessarily opposed, because I am on board with going after a quarterback wholeheartedly. Like I want to get a top-notch quarterback, and Deshaun Watson is that top-notch quarterback. But you also have to combine that with, what is it, like a $40 million cap hit on top?
We got the money.
Well, we'll talk about it in a minute as far as what free agents we may need to sign, but I think we have like 60-ish million or 50-something million. Like that's already 2/3 of our cap space going into one player,
so that's what?
And you're trading away a ton.
But it's worth it. Because at that point, I don't have to go out and keep as much if I'm getting him.
You wouldn't have to keep as much if you're getting him. Yeah, like a quarterback, I've been saying this all year since I decided Heineke is not the guy, probably around week 3, that a quarterback can hide a lot of your deficiencies.
Well, that kind of quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I'm talking about a top-notch quarterback. Yeah, obviously, if you got Derek Carr, he's not going to hide a ton of your deficiency. Like, you're going to still have to have a good team around him. But if you got Aaron Rodgers, if you got Russell Wilson, if you got Deshaun Watson, if you got, those guys are potentially on the move, but you could also say if you have Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, like some other ones listed, I'm sure, that Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, like you can have a team that is not necessarily the best overall. Like you maybe have a few holes on there, or maybe quite a few. Like Kansas City has a ton of holes on defense, like they're plethora of holes throughout that team, and yet they're 11-5, second in the AFC. Like it's when you have a top-notch quarterback who wasn't even playing well in the beginning, and yet they still find a way to win games. So I'm for that. It's just, it's a lot. That is a lot. Like, because now you have to start comparing it to this. This is what makes you hesitate. Do you go after a guy like that, spending all that capital, and have to take that much of a cap hit, when you could potentially just draft Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell?
I would draft Ridder.
Exactly. So now you have to compare. Like now you have a guy that's much cheaper. You keep the capital. You still have potential to have a great quarterback.
Okay.
I know you love Ridder, but
no, I'm not even.
You know what? I want you to take Ridder out of this conversation. Let's say you didn't.
Then no. I'm trading for Watson. Screw the draft.
So Howell, you wouldn't take Howell right now.
He doesn't have that kind of ceiling. He has a high ceiling, but not Watson kind of ceiling.
Yeah, he doesn't have Watson's ceiling, but at the same time, you're not losing 3 first-rounders. You're not losing a second. You're not losing Duran, and you're not paying $40 million.
I don't care about Duran. That's the thing.
Well, okay, Duran is one piece of it, but I'm just saying, like, you're not losing a player, you're not losing a pick, you're not losing 3 first-rounders, and you're not spending $41 million in cap space.
We still gonna put a trade in.
An offer?
Yeah, we're still gonna put an offer in. So what would your offer be?
What would my offer be? That's a tough question. Well, it's not so much about what my offer would be, because I agree with you that the offer that you put on the table would probably be is what it would have to be to get it done. Like I could say like, all right, like I would only want to spend 2 firsts and a second and keep my player. Like I could say that all I want, but that's just not reality. You're not getting that done. So you would have 3 firsts, a second, and Duran is probably very fair for a guy of Deshaun Watson's caliber. It's just I wish he was still on a rookie deal. Sorry, but I don't know.
But I get, but I mean, but you still have him under contract for the next 5, so he's locked up.
He is locked up for what, 3 years after this? 3, 4 years? 4 years? Yeah. So you have a guy with high caliber, but now you're not having any first round picks for the next 3 years. Is that a big deal? Like the Rams, when's the last time they picked in the first round? And they're what, 12-4 right now, or 11-5?
You got some money to play with. You still got some money over these next couple years to play with. Right. And if he wants somebody, he'll take the pay cut, and we'll just go get him.
Send a second or a third to San Francisco for Jimmy G, then draft Malik Willis or Desmond Ritter. Let him sit behind him, instead of getting ruined on their job for the first year.
Well, I said that in the Discord before I left it. Yeah. I said trade for Jimmy G. Or you know what? No one's trading for Jimmy G. Jimmy G is going to be a free agent. But I would sign Jimmy G and I draft a quarterback. I'll go to San Francisco 49ers route. That's what I would do. But I'm hearing they want Mitchell Trubisky, so okay.
Mitch Trubisky. I am not a Jimmy fan. I am not a Mitch fan. But I will say this. I know drafting a quarterback in the first round, and I don't care who it is. I know you love Ritter. I don't care if it's Ritter, Pickett, Howe. I don't care who it is. It could be Joe Montana himself or Tom Brady himself. I don't care. I know a rookie quarterback, even if you start him, is not going to give you that enough to win a Super Bowl. So I know drafting a rookie quarterback, and playing him immediately, you're not winning. You're not a contender because a rookie quarterback has never won it for a reason. It's because they don't have the experience. They get into the playoffs, nerves hit, which is completely understandable. What's that?
We almost did it.
We almost did?
Yeah, we almost did it if he wasn't hurt.
RG3? Yeah, I mean, we got hurt in the playoffs. He got hurt in the playoffs.
He didn't get hurt. We didn't win.
But also, I mean, Russell Wilson was a rookie that year. Andrew Luck was a rookie that year. Neither of them won it. They can win you games. What's that?
They didn't have the team yet.
I mean, both of them were double-digit win teams. I'm pretty sure the Colts were 11-5, and then the Seahawks were 10-6.
It was pretty much his second year where the team was really fully. But Russell Wilson was never a catalyst in any of those Super Bowls.
Well, it's just they're just.
I get what you're saying though. But my point is they wasn't there because of him. They were there because of their running back and their defense.
The defense, the Legion of Boom was definitely the big catalyst. But anyway, all of this to say, I bring all the way this to say is knowing that I'm drafting a rookie, knowing I'm not going to be a contender. Do I hate the idea then of picking up a Mitch Trubisky or a Jimmy G, knowing anyway, even if I started the rookie, I'm not going to win. But instead, I protect the rookie a bit, put him behind a guy that potentially, if whoever I sign is going to have to be a great locker room dude. They're going to have to be Alex Smith level of a guy that's willing to teach the young quarterback, that's willing to work with the young quarterback, even though they're starting and even though they're trying to earn another paycheck from somewhere else. I got to get a guy with high character like that, right? You don't want a guy like Brett Favre that apparently shunned Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers ended up succeeding, but apparently that wasn't a great relationship, or you get the idea. But so, do I hate the idea? I personally will say, yeah, I hate the idea. I don't want to root for Jimmy, and I don't want to root for Mitch Trubisky. I don't want them to be my quarterbacks. I would rather just stick with Heineke again, even though Heineke sucks. Let's say
we draft Ritter. I don't think he's holding Ritter off for a year. He can hold Lance off. He wouldn't hold Ritter off for a year. I know he wouldn't.
Who's that?
Jimmy G. So he wouldn't be the starter for very long.
I would just rather stick with Heineke then. He knows the offense. He seems like a good locker room dude.
Like I said, I'm not opposed to it. If that's I said that.
I think I would rather draft a quarterback, whoever it is at this point. I still have a lot of looking into some players. Right for now, I like Ritter, I like Pickett, and I like Howe. But if I would draft one of those guys, keep Heineke. He's already under contract, so I'd keep him again. Let them battle it out. If the young rookie ends up winning it, great. Let's move. And I'm with it then. If you said that, that's fine. I'm sure you have said it. We probably both said a variation of that.
I'd say it
multiple times, but I'm just reiterating it.
I would say, even if he wins it, he lost, and I still start Heineke. Even if he wins it, I say he lost. And I'll sit him like 2-3 weeks so he can learn how the defenses will play.
If he wins, then I'm playing him.
But I said I would still sit him, even if I would lie.
I don't think so. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I completely, I understand what you're saying. You would tell the media like, nope, he's still learning, he's still growing. Yeah. Like we want to, we're gonna sit him for a little bit. We want him to continue to grow, continue to get into the offense and everything like that. I agree. I'm sorry, I don't agree. I understand what you're saying is what I meant, but I'm somebody that, hey, you need to play. And there's not very often that players sit and succeed. It's happened a few times. Of course, you have Pat Mahomes. Of course, you have Aaron Rodgers. So, like, you have the one-off, like, weird examples. But you also have the examples like Russell Wilson, who was a fourth-round pick, wasn't supposed to play. They brought in Matt Flynn, who was supposed to be the starter. They paid him a lot of money to be the starter. But, hey, he was clearly the better quarterback in camp. They started him, and now he's a top 5 quarterback in the league when healthy. Right? Like, I don't think they hurt Russell Wilson by starting him out of the gate because he showed that he was ready. So I think if Ritter does the same thing, or Pickett or Howell, whoever we end up getting, roll with him week 1 and take it and see what he could do. Like, the fans are going to be upset no matter what happens. Like, you know, like if you're losing games, they're going to be upset. But if you're winning, then they're not going to be upset.
Yeah, they would. They find some reason.
Find some reason. Carr was my first choice. I would draft Bailey Zapp. So I liked the idea of Bailey Zapp when I was doing the mock drafts because, you know, if you can get a guy in the third round that could potentially be a franchise guy. But Bailey Zapp, to me, now that I've looked into him, I watched a couple of games on him and looked into him a little bit more. To me, this is like clearly Case Keenum 2.0. Like, Case Keenum had unbelievable stats coming out. I think he had like 56 touchdowns, 5 picks, 5,600 yards. Like, this guy actually obviously had a few more than that, but still, it's right in the same ballpark. He also had more interceptions, though. I think he had 11 interceptions, 62 touchdowns, and 5,900 yards. To me, he's not a spectacular quarterback. Like, he seems like a capable quarterback, but he's not the guy that I want to draft to say, all right, here's my future, and he's the guy that I want to put stock behind. Like, to me, he's maybe a little bit stronger armed of a Heineke. Like, he's a guy that maybe you can get some good starts out of him, but I don't think he's going to be your franchise guy. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. I just happened to look into that, so I saw that comment. But anyway, all right, let's continue to move on, because I think we both like the idea of getting a guy caliber Watson. I just have a little bit more reservations about the cost, both in capital and stuff, than you do. But I don't hate what you're saying because if you can get a top-tier guy, that's important. All right, moving on. Brandon Sheriff. The tango continues, right? The dance continues here with Brandon Sheriff. And it was interesting. Martin Mayhew, the GM, and Ron Rivera took the mic in front of the press conferences, the press, I should say. And did he kind of take a shot at Brandon on the stand? Well, first off, Brandon's been saying all the right things, you know, the quote-unquote right things of he wants to be here, he wants to play here, he likes it here, all this good stuff, but he's not signed a contract yet. And then Mayhew, though, when asked about Brandon, basically said, look, I want the fans to know we did everything we could to get the deal done. And we're going to continue to work on it. We offered him the most money to ever be paid to a guard at the time of the contract, and he denied it. Do you think that was a shot at Brandon Sheriff in that?
I feel like it's something that they're not saying. I feel like there's something in the contract that he's not saying or talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And I think he's full of crap, personally, to try to get the fans. Well, the fans are going to ride with him anyway. They have been, which makes no sense. But you're not fooling me. There's something in that contract that he does not like.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, it's on you. It's not him. Anybody in their right mind is not going to turn down the highest paid contract. He wants the money. There's something in that contract that you're.
Right.
I think it might be some incentives attached to it. So maybe it's probably like 14 million. But if you play X amount of games, then it can be 18 or some crap like that.
Right.
So it's something that they're leaving out.
Yeah, and also, is it a play on words? Like, we offered him the most money ever for a guard. Okay, that's on a yearly basis, but if you look at the guarantees, it's not the most money ever. Or the other way around. Oh, it wasn't the most money per year, but we offered him the most guarantees ever from a guard, or something, like, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like, are they playing on words there? And also, like, ProTech had an interesting theory. It was the most money, but by how much? Like, the apparently the largest contract of the time that they offered it was $14 million a year for Brandon Brooks from the Eagles. Did they offer him 15, 16, 17 million, or did they offer him 14.25, like ProTech's suggesting? Also, did they offer him 15 million a year? Not a whole lot of guarantees, and he sees, hey, I can play 18 million this 1 year.
I mean, for him
and go from that.
For Brandon gonna get his money regardless. Like, it's so many teams that need him. Bears, they'll pay that money. Jaguars will pay that money. Jets will pay that money. Like, Brandon's finding the way.
Yeah, go ahead. So,
Brandon's finding the way. And Louis T made a good point. He said, I mean, why not me just take this franchise tag at 18, come back, re-up, salary cap's going up, and I get more. So maybe that's why he didn't sign it. And that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, I'm curious. Somebody said it was $16.5 million. Turned down contract. But what was the contract offer? Like, to my knowledge, nobody knows what the extent of the offer was.
Whatever it was. Like I said, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll bring him back. Like I said, I don't.
But for how much would you like? What if it cost $20 million a year?
I don't care.
So you would still, even if it was $20 million a year, you would bring him back.
That's a stretch. Honestly,
yeah. Well, the longer you wait, the bigger the contract's going to be.
I'm sorry. No. 18, I was willing, and I would, but I'm not giving you 20. No, unless that's for like 3 years, and it don't kick in to like some other time. But like it was like shorter amount of time, sure, like 3 years, 20. All right, fine. But are you talking about 4, 5, 6? No.
I'm just looking up.
Like if I was, how old is Brandon? 29.
How old is Brandon?
Yeah.
He's 30 now.
He's 30, for real. So
Wyatt Teller right now has he's actually, according to this one, I guess he's going to be 31 next year, like going into next season. But the biggest contract after him is actually Wyatt Teller at 14.2. So
I thought Joe Thuney got 16.
It doesn't say that he got 16.
Thuney was made the highest paid.
It doesn't have him listed. Joe Thuney. Oh, you know what? Is he a left guard? Over the Cap is getting real specific with left guard and right guard. Let me hit left guard. Yeah, okay, hold on.
Yeah,
so the highest paid guard is both Joe Thuney and Joel Bitonio for the Browns. They both are averaging $16 million a year.
Yeah.
I don't know why they separate left guard and right guard.
I get 17.
Anyway. So would it be $17 million a year right now? Is what you pay him? It's interesting.
If you don't want that, bye. You the highest.
Considering how this front office spends money elsewhere, You know what? Just give it to Brandon. Just give it to Brandon. Don't spend it on another Ryan Fitzpatrick. Don't spend it on another.
That's $10 million wasted.
Yeah, you know what? If we're just gonna spend the money anyway on probably some donkey stuff, you know what? Just give it to Brandon. He's a great dude, a great character, hard worker, a great leader. Apparently when I forgot this, but I was listening to somebody. Was it Protech also or somebody else? When Chase Young got hurt, who ran out on the field to take him off the field? Brandon Sheriff. And so it's like stuff like that where it's like you're not even on the field right now. You're on offense, and your player gets hurt. You go out there and you help him off the field. Like it's high character.
You don't want no daggone different combinations. Do it. You finally got your left tackle for the future. You got your right tackle for the future.
Mm-hmm.
You re-up Brandon for the future. I think Eric Flowers, that was probably the best trade this organization has made in years. Was bringing him here.
Did we trade for him?
You already re-signed Chase Roulier. You got your starting five for the next couple years. Why mess that up? Everybody else is paid. Get Brandon done.
You know what? Like I think I'm gonna fall on. I don't care if we let him go. Fine, we're not overpaying for a guard. If we keep him, I like him. He's my lookalike anyway. So you know what? We keep my lookalike, and we drafted him 5th overall for a reason, right? Like if you're not going to pay a 5th overall pick a second contract, why in the world did you draft him? So you know what? I'm Switzerland on this. I could take it or leave it. Pay him $17 million a year, fine. If not, I'm fine too. Like I'm not pressed either way because I like Wes Switzer and I like Eric Flowers. So I like that combination at guard. If we end up losing him, and then we could draft a guard in the draft, replace him, maybe just for the backup for now, but potentially or whatever. Sadiq Charles is a disaster. I was really hoping he could step up, but he's not good at all. But we definitely need to. If we don't sign him, we definitely need to figure out another guard because considering the injuries we've had on the offensive line for the last 3-4 years, we got to make sure we're deep at that offensive line spot. Jeris Sports Talk is back. That's right, Jason. What's up, Jason? Let him walk, says Spray. Tackles were getting paid more because edge rushers are dominant. Yeah, tackle is definitely worth more for sure. High draft a guard. Yeah, maybe. There's that center, Tyler Linderbaum or whatever.
From the same place he came from.
Yeah, from Iowa. Maybe go ahead and pick him up and put him at guard. I mean, he's an interior lineman. He doesn't have to play center.
That's a first round pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you want to pick him at 11?
No, I don't want to draft a center or a guard at 11. I'm just saying
that's where he's
it's
going.
A replacement.
Yeah, he's
no, he's a top 10 pick potentially. Yeah, he's a stud, is what I'm hearing. I actually haven't watched him yet, but according to like all the experts, I think he was like a 95 PFF. People are super high on him. It's just a matter of do you want to draft a center that high or not? I don't know. Chicken Rico, thank you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want a quarterback. With that 11, we're probably going to have to go quarterback, whether we use it to trade or we use it to actually draft one, but we'll see. We shall see. All right, so that's the Brandon Sheriff discussion. You say, yeah, go ahead and do it. I say I'm Switzerland. I could take it or leave it. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I love Brandon, but at the same time, I hate paying a ton of money to guards. So I'm torn. So either way, I'm fine. But we have a ton of interesting in different ways. Not interesting as far as like the talent level of Brandon Sheriff, but there's some interesting free agents should Washington look up keeping. I just want to say this one for the memes. Should we look into re-signing, Ryan Fitzpatrick? Did I break you?
No.
Yeah, of course not.
No. You know what? In a sense that, like I said, my scenario,
yeah,
if I can't get those two quarterbacks at 11, run it back. That's what I'm all for. Just run it back. And I'll just wait till next year. But
yeah,
I think they are going to go one of those guys that I said. So, no. And like I said, they want Trubisky. So
people are really high on Corral.
Trubisky, Heineke, and a rookie next year. And I think
Trubisky, Heineke, and a rookie.
I think they put Kyle Allen on practice squad.
Well, Kyle Allen right now is actually a free agent. Do they bring him back at all?
I think he's on practice squad.
Well, he's not even on the team. Like he's not even a guy that we signed.
I think they bring him as a camp body. They give him
they bring him in again?
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I think he's a capable backup. I think another team may be interested in paying him a little bit more to be a backup. There's some other interesting ones. This one is interesting in a similar way to Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I'm going to mention it before I actually get into the interesting ones. John Bostic right now is a free agent, and Ron in that press conference again praised John Bostic and talked as if the defense missed him after the injury. I know me and you don't want this, but do you think that Ron Rivera in this front office is going to bring back John Bostic?
No.
No? Is that actually what you think? You don't think they're going to, or are you just being hopeful?
No, it's a waste of money.
Well, no. I'm not asking what you want to do. I'm asking, do you think they're going to?
Back.
So you think that the front office will not bring him back
unless he's like for depth, like sixth on the list.
They did miss him low key. No, he didn't. No, he was not missed. I promise you. The defense with him on the field was way worse, and we were bad without him. But they were way worse. I mean, John Bostic.
I don't think they bring him back, bro.
I'm going to say I think they do. I think Ron loves him some John Bostic. I think he does. And I think they're going to bring him back. They paid him $2.5 million last time. I think they probably pay him somewhere similar, 2-3, and maybe even $4 million a year because he likes himself some John Bostic. But, oh my goodness, I hate it. I'm maybe saying that out loud because you know that I'm always wrong. Like, I'm wrong all the time. So I'm hoping I'm wrong again here. Like, I'm trying to do some reverse psychology to make sure that John Bostic's not on the team. All right, here's some actually interesting ones. Would you bring back Cornelius Lucas as a swing tackle?
How much?
We paid him before just under $2 million. He's 30.5. So let's say they up it a little bit with the inflation and call it $4 million a year.
Sure, fine. Why not?
All right. Cam Sims. Do you bring him back as a receiver? You're done on Cam Sims?
No, yeah.
Uninterested on Cam Sims? I think they do bring him back, or at least try to, unless somebody bring him. I think they like him. I don't want him. I'm not a Cam Sims guy, but this front office, you never know. I think here's the next one. I think Bobby McCain is a guarantee he's coming back. He muted himself. He couldn't handle it. I think Bobby McCain's a guarantee coming back. How much did we pay him this year? Bobby McCain was 1.5. I bet we pay him $5-6 million a year.
Okay.
I guarantee. I'm almost writing that one in as a guarantee. Here's an interesting one. Do we bring back DeAndre Carter?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring back Carter. Yeah.
You want to bring back Carter?
Yeah.
So we had paid him under $1 million. How much do you think after a really good year at kick returner? You think it's gonna be $3 million? $3 million a year. For $3 million a year, I'd probably do it too. He seems to be a good weapon for us. Let's see. Ricky Seals-Jones. We paid him just under $1 million. Would you bring back Ricky?
After you know I want at tight end, so no. And I wanted Ricky, but after seeing that particular tight end on free agency, I want him, not Ricky.
I already forgot. Who's the tight end you want?
Dalton.
Oh, Dalton Schultz. That's right. We did talk about that. That is interesting. That is interesting. Obviously, Dalton's going to be much more expensive. Ricky Seals seemed like an interesting backup, but it's interesting. Okay. Tim Settle. Are we done on him?
That's unless DeRon will be in the package. So, yeah, Settle's done.
All right, Tim Settle. I agree. I think Settle is done. We have too much money in that. We have too much capital tied up in that D-line already. Matt Ioannidis, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, and then interior. Tim Settle will probably demand another $9-10 million a year probably on the market. I don't think he gets that much. I don't.
I think Settle.
I think he signs a 1-year prove-it deal somewhere for like.
Wow, what do you got to prove?
Because
Settle is a bag.
I think that he hasn't played enough on the field
That's
to
Jack
to
Del
demand it.
Rio's fault.
Oh, I'm not saying whose fault or whose fault it's not. I'm saying I don't think that people have seen enough of him to say, all right, I'm throwing a 4-year contract, $15 million. And I don't think he signs like a long-term deal at $10 million. I think he signs a prove-it deal at like $8 to $10 million and see what he can get.
I think he'll get a bag.
I don't think so yet. Joey Sly, is he our kicker of the future? You good with signing him for a multi-year deal?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I like him too. He seems solid. I don't think he's a great kicker.
Hey.
Did he not miss a single one? You might be right. He looks like a linebacker. I hope we play him at linebacker. I liked him though. Adam Humphries, you bringing him back?
No.
Yeah, I'm done on it. I'm not interested in Humphries either. I don't think he showed enough to earn another contract. Torrey McTyer. He tore his ACL in the Atlanta game.
All for him.
You want Torrey McTyer back? I liked him too. He played a lot for sure.
For 3-4 years.
You want him back for 3-4 years? I don't think we could sign him with that torn ACL to that long. I think he decides another prove-it deal, probably somewhat cheap, maybe like $1.5 million, and maybe becomes like the 4th or 5th corner on this team. Because remember, we already have 3 starting corners, so he may be the 4th corner on this team.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one. I would love to bring him back for depth. And sticking in the cornerback room, do we bring back Darryl Roberts?
No.
I don't know. Darryl Roberts he seemed to make a couple of plays. Like, I wouldn't mind bringing him back as like our 5th or 6th corner. I don't think he's like a starter by any means. But I thought he played decent with the backups getting hurt. I wasn't completely anti him. The special team GOAT himself, Troy Apke. Do we bring back the elite special teamer according to Ron Rivera?
Yep.
How much are you paying Troy Apke?
Oh, same amount of money he's been getting.
So just under $1 million?
Yeah.
If they said $3 million, would you give him $3 million?
Yeah, sure. Why not? 3 years, $3 million.
I don't know about that. How much was DeShazer Everett making?
I think Shea's gone. I hope not, but.
Well, he's not a free agent, so he's still under contract.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, at least he's not listed on this spot track free agent stuff. So he's still under contract, Everett, for now. He was paid 3 years. Yeah, he's under contract for next year. And it was an average, it looks like, of about $1.8 million a year. As a captain of our special teams, he wasn't even making $2 million. So would you still pay Troy Apke 3, or would you just try to get that kind of a deal, like a $2 million?
Pay that man his money.
Pay that man his money. Troy needs to go. What up, Juan Carter? But no, I think that he loves him. Is Reeves gone? Reeves was not listed on.
Again.
Reeves, I think is still under contract.
You know what? I say this: they'll bring him back. And they'll have him and Forrest battle it out for that spot.
That's another thing is, do they believe in Derek Forrest taking over on that spot already, and maybe they don't feel the need to pay him?
Because he was hurt the entire year. So I think they battle it out. Them two battle it out to see who gets the spot.
Fair enough. There's a couple of other like smaller guys, like Tyler Lawson as a backup center. Like maybe you bring him back as a camp body.
I think
David Morris and David Mayo and Jared Norris.
Practice squad.
Jordan Kunajic. And that's pretty much everybody that's worth mentioning. But, all right, interesting. I think that was a good one. Forrest will take over. Fair enough. Everett is out of special teams. Or is our special teams ace. Trapke go. Yeah. Well, Ron Rivera talked about him being elite. So, I think they try to... I'm okay with seeing him walk, but I think they do actually try to pay him and go from there. All right, well, that was fun. Roberts is a good nickel. Yeah, I thought he was okay in a backup role as a corner. Like, I didn't hate Roberts as much as I thought I was going to when we signed him. I don't think he's a starter. Like, I don't think we should pay him like $10 million a year. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't mind bringing him back as a backup guy. I'm done with Cam. Cam who? I don't know. Oh, Cam Sims. Yeah. I'm done with Cam too, for sure. For sure. Our roster is thin, says VA Money Group. You know what? I don't think our roster is that thin, honestly. I just think we just need a quarterback. Because, like, if you dropped Pat Mahomes on this team, I think we could easily win 11, 12, 13 games. Like, I think we have a talented enough team. Like, if you put us player for player against Kansas City, you're shaking your head. You don't want to agree?
No, it's that I'm not the kind of person, now I get it, but I hate the fact that I keep hearing we're devoid of talent. That's so not true.
I agree. I think that's. I was just saying that. I agree.
Add 1 or 2 pieces on offense. That's literally all it is. If you on paper, I
would say all we need is a quarterback, and a lot of these things go away.
Literally, all the starters on paper, outside of free safety position, on paper, it's a ridiculous amount of talent. Now, if you want to go to the offensive end, you have talent there. You might need to add 1 or 2 pieces. But there's this whole notion that we don't have no talent is stupid to me, and it's getting annoying.
Yeah, like, we just don't have a quarterback.
What are we supposed to?
Yeah,
who are we supposed to be? A dream team? The Pro Bowl?
The All Stars?
They want to make us look like a Pro Bowl roster. That's not the case. Like, that's annoying.
Yep. Not every team can be the Buccaneers that just have people come in for cheap contracts.
If I stack my defense up against theirs, our talent is way better.
I would say, I don't think I would agree with that. Like, we have better corners, but I think, and then you could say Cam's better than Winfield Jr., but I think Winfield Jr. is solid. They have way better linebackers than us, and I think their defensive line's comparable. I think you could say that we probably have a little bit more talent, but with Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, who's been a stud, Ndamukong Suh, Jason Pierre-Paul.
On paper.
Yeah.
You're not taking any of those guys over Chase Young. From face value, you're not.
I mean, that's fine, but I'm just saying, like, they're not far behind.
But I'm saying, you're saying that because it's really on the offensive side.
The offensive side is ridiculous, but
Exactly.
I would say their defense is comparable to ours, and you could say, I think it's comparable. You could say that we're slightly better in some areas, but our linebacking core is not even close.
Our group is better,
way better. Like, not even like their defensive line is closer to our defensive line than our linebackers is close to their linebacking.
I don't think their D line is that good, honestly.
I don't know how. Like, you don't like Vita Vea,
I've been saying that they were overrated.
Jason Pierre-Paul, Shaq Barrett.
I've been saying they were overrated. Shaq. First off, JPP's old, and Ndamukong Suh is not the Ndamukong Suh from the Lions. Vita Vea has underachieved, and Shaq Barrett has. Well, I'm not mad at Shaq Barrett. But outside of that, the other ones, okay.
Well, I mean, if you're going to say that, like, okay, Daron Payne has underachieved. Montez Sweat has underachieved. Chase Young is underachieved.
That's fair.
I'm saying,
if you're just setting this up on paper, it's not one team and not one coach in the NFL that's going to choose that D line over ours.
I never said that they are going to choose it. I'm just saying I think it's a decent D line compared to ours. Like, I would still say ours is better. That's fine, but I'm not denying that ours is better, especially on paper. I'm just denying the fact that I think it's so out of this world that I think they have a top 10 defensive line, at least.
Not on
in
paper,
the league.
Okay.
Yeah, on paper. Because our defensive line wasn't top 10 this year.
It wasn't.
But on paper it is. But
on
anyway,
paper,
all right.
Top 3.
That was fun. I think that was a good discussion. Thanks for everybody in the chat that were discussing it. Now we're going to hop into these playoff games. Give our predictions. Just give our thoughts, general thoughts on what they're going to go through. And you ready? He nods his head. Yes. Here we go. So the 4 o'clock game, the 4:30 game on Saturday is the Las Vegas Raiders, who snuck into the playoffs, did a good job beating the Chargers, and they're going to go to Cincinnati to face the Bengals. Both teams are 10-7, and 10-7 in different ways. I feel like the Raiders, and the Bengals can be similar in some ways, where they can lose to anybody. Like, the Bengals, I believe, lost to the Jets and the Texans this year, which is outrageous. But then the Bengals can come back and beat the Chiefs, and beat like some other really solid and like compete dang near beat the Packers. Like they were in a dogfight with the Packers. So they're kind of a weird team. And then you also have the Raiders that could be very, very similar in that way. What do you think about this matchup going in?
I think it's gonna be a dog walk by the Bengals.
Ooh, you don't think the Raiders even
No.
make it interesting?
No.
You don't think Max Crosby gets to Joe Burrow at all? Slow him up a little bit?
No. I like Max Crosby a lot.
I
More
love
than
Max Crosby.
But Joe Burrow and that offense is just too much. And their defense is terrible. They got good talent on their defense. I respect Raiders' talent, but they're going to get abused by the Bengals. This is going to be a dog walk. It's not going to be close.
Interesting. ESPN right now is giving the Bengals a 67.5% chance. What's the spread on this one? 5.5-point favorites for the Bengals. The over-under is 49. The Bengals lost to the Browns, but they did not have their starters playing. The Raiders are on a 4-game win streak, beating the Browns, the Broncos, the Colts, and the Chargers. Some interesting wins down the stretch. If I was picking the points, I think I would take the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to make this an interesting game. I think it's going to be a much closer game than people think, but I will agree that I'm picking the Bengals straight up. So I agree that I think the Bengals will end up winning it, but I don't think it's going to be a dog walk. I think the Raiders, that Garcia, the head coach, has really got that team playing for him at a high level. They do have Max Crosby is a game changer. Max Crosby was probably the number one reason by a mile that Justin Herbert was slowed down at all until the fourth quarter, where then he was able to throw it quicker. But he was causing so many holding penalties, so many illegal hands to the face, so much like that right tackle was feeling it going against Max Crosby. So I think the Raiders make this a game. I think it's the Bengals in a close one, personally. Because Josh Jacobs could also slow this game down. What's the Bengals defense ranked? Let's see here. Where's the yards per game here? Don't they usually show me that? Here, no. Where is it? I guess I gotta go to the team thing here and go to team stats here. Let me look here. How many yards per game do they give up on the ground? Team statistics, rushing. Are you not going to show me defense? This is silly. Well, that's frustrating. Yeah, let me go to stats then for this here. Team Raiders. The Bengals defense total is bottom half of the league, but right around midway. And then rushing yards per game. The Bengals are actually top 5 in yards per game given up in the rushing category. That's interesting. I wouldn't have predicted that. I didn't think that they were that good. So, okay, well, that actually is going to make it harder on the Raiders. If they can slow down Josh Jacobs to make him kind of irrelevant, then, yeah, I can totally see this game turning into a blowout. The Bengals' rush defense is better than I gave it credit for. So, good for the Bengals. All right. So, we both picked the Bengals in that one, right?
Yep.
All right. Next game, a division rivalry here. In the regular season, they both split. It's the New England Patriots going to the Buffalo Bills. Patriots 10-7. Buffalo Bills 11-6. The Bills are 4-point favorites in this game. The Patriots' last 4 games have not been very good. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 games. They lost to the Colts, the Bills, and the Dolphins. Meanwhile, the Bills are on a 5-game win streak. The defense looks really strong. They do not have Tre'Davious White, if I remember correct. I think he got hurt. But this is a very interesting game. Obviously, the Patriots have the experience on their side with the coaching, but the players are not overly experienced anymore. It's arguably that the Bills have more experience now as far as the players are concerned. Where do you go on this game? What do you think about this game?
You going Buffalo?
You going Buffalo?
Josh Allen cannot lose to Mac Jones.
Josh Allen cannot lose to Mac Jones. This is going to be an interesting game. A very interesting game. I am going to say this right now. The winner of this game is going to represent the AFC in the championship, in the Super Bowl. Like, they're going to win the AFC, in my opinion. So I am going to take the Bills. I've been predicting the Bills to go into the Super Bowl all year. But if the Patriots beat the Bills, I think the Patriots go all the way, and we're gonna see a Tampa Bay versus Bill Belichick Super Bowl. That's fun. Oh, on the warpath in the house, it says Bills on the money line, doesn't want the points. Okay, so you're a little scared of the points. You think it's a close one there, Corey? I see you. Jeris low-key looks like John Allen. He has the same jokes as you. You love to say people look like. I think Jeris has said I've looked like every single individual, whether it be a coach or a player in the NFL at some point this season. But that's funny. Sheriff has missed too many games for me. Yeah, he definitely has missed games for sure. Mac Jones ain't ready for the playoffs yet. Interesting. Well, that's the thing though. I don't think it matters that much. That's the crazy thing. Like, yes, I've been saying that rookie quarterbacks can't win in the playoffs. But I think that Bill Belichick is such a smart coach. They take it out of his hands, and they don't rely on Mac Jones. They literally beat the Bills by running the ball every single play.
He's going to have to make a throw or two.
Yeah, he's going to have to make some throws. He's not going to have to throw 3 times.
Been in that particular moment before. So, therefore, the fact that he was in a moment like this before is going to translate to the NFL. I'm still picking the Bills, but if they win, it wouldn't surprise me. And if Mac Jones balls out, guess what? It wouldn't surprise me. Why? He had the experience, so he knows what it's like. This moment is not too big for Mac Jones.
It's interesting. I'm going to take the Bills, but I would not be surprised at all if the Patriots win. So give me – that was loud. Give me the Bills. All right, here's an interesting matchup. Some people may not think it's interesting, but this is a lot of people's upset, like, favorite pick. Like, if – people want to pick an upset, this is the one they're going for. Tampa Bay versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The 1 o'clock game on Sunday. The Eagles finished 9-8. They got routed by the Cowboys because they weren't trying. But before that, they were on a healthy win streak. At least they won 4 in a row. They beat Washington twice. They beat the Giants. They beat the Jets. So not very good opponents if you are being objective. The Buccaneers have won 4 out of their last 5. They did lose to the Saints in that stretch with that shutout, the first shutout from Brady in about 12, 13 years. But their offense seems to be rolling now again. They beat Carolina 32-6. They beat the Jets 28-4 in a weird one. And then they got 41-17 over the Panthers on the last game of the season. What do you think about this matchup, and where are you going with it? You got Philly.
Here's why.
Okay.
Tom Brady, 1, he struggles with Philly. 2, they're shorthanded. 3, the very thing that beats quarterbacks like Tom Brady is teams running the football, controlling time possession, keeping you off the field. Mm-hmm. And Tampa's defense is trash. Let's just put it the way it is. Like I said, they will be. The Eagles are going to run the ball at will. Okay. Jalen Hurts is probably going to have to make 1 throw, and which I believe he could. Just 1 throw. He's not going to have to make 2. Have to make 1 throw. They're going to control this game. They're going to force Tom Brady to do something. And Tom Brady has been throwing a ton of picks in the high leverage moments this year. One against the Saints early on. Forgot it's another team. They're going to force him to mess up. Tom Brady has to play a perfect game. If he don't, they're going to lose. And like you said, they better try to run just like the Eagles. Because if they're going to try to go out there and gunsling, Eagles going to win easily. It's going to be an easy win for the Eagles. Because Eagles going to control the time of possession.
So, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are getting healthy again. Their front seven's getting healthy. And when they are a healthy front seven, they are incredible at stopping the run. Incredible. And then also, you got to remember, it's playoff Tom. And people count out Tom every single year for the last 6-7 years, it seems like. They always count out Tom. The Patriots are done. Tom Brady's over the hill. He fell off a cliff, like Max Kellerman said. Everybody loves to, when the playoffs start, they start to hate on Tom Brady. I don't think this is an upset. I think the Eagles can make this an interesting game. I like what the Eagles have been doing. They've completely changed up their whole game since they played them earlier in the year. They were trying to force the ball through the air, but as you said, they have committed to the run since then. But Tampa Bay, when healthy, when they have Devin White, when they have Levante Davis, when they had Vita Vea, when they have Ndamukong Suh, Shaq Barrett, the whole nine, they are lethal at stopping the run. I think the Bucs do end up taking this game, and because it's the fan favorite upset pick, I think that's exactly why Tampa Bay ends up taking care of business and beating the Eagles. Any last things on this game?
I'm taking Philly.
First playoff game in Tampa since 2007. They'll be ready. Is that true? Yeah, because they didn't win the division last year. That's right, and they were away against the Saints because they won the division. They were away against the Packers. And they were away against us. We were the home team last year. They'll lose to the Philly. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, you're right. They did not have a home game last week. I got Tampa winning. Tampa's going to win that game. Here's another one that is a very interesting upset pick. The 4:30 game on Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers facing the hated, the horrible, the just tragedy Dallas Cowboys, 12-5. San Francisco fought tooth and nail to get into the playoffs. They were down by 7 with 1:27 seconds, no timeouts, ready for their season to be over. The Saints would have stole their playoff spot, but they clawed their way back. They sent it into overtime, and they found a way to win. They got the pick against Matt Stafford. They sweep the Rams on the season. They've won against the Rams the last 7 times. The Niners versus Cowboys. Cowboys right now are only 3-point favorites. The over-under's 51. How do you like this game? Where do you think it's shaking out?
I got the Niners.
You got the Niners.
I think Trey Lance finds his way in this game.
Trey Lance finds a way in the game.
And
you think that's a good thing?
Huh?
Do you think that's a good thing?
Because I think you have to at least give him a couple plays in this game. Because he's pretty much the kryptonite to Micah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lance can move and he's big. So you can kind of like put in a couple packages to where like to keep Micah, back. Like, okay, I can't. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Trey Lance is going to be in this game, a couple plays. But I got the Niners. The Niners they're just going to just run the ball down their throat.
Yeah. This is a tough game to pick for me. This is a very tough game for obvious reasons. I hate the Cowboys. I would love to pick the upset here. But I'm not going to. I am picking the Cowboys. They had an extra day to prepare. They played on Saturday. The Niners played on Sunday. And not only did they play on Sunday, but I already talked about it. They played in an absolute dogfight. That had to have taken a whole lot out of them. They put their whole heart and soul into that upset over the Rams. And I think the Cowboys come in a little bit healthier, a little bit more rested. And I think the Cowboys take away the victory. I think Dan Quinn calls a great defense to try to stifle that run game. They have the defensive players to do it on top of that. So I'm going to begrudgingly pick the Cowboys in this game, and the Dallas Cowboys move on to the second round. And it's going to be it's going to be tough for the Niners to win. It's not impossible, but it's going to be tough.
It's going to be easier than you think.
I would love to pick this upset. I would. I would love to. And I think also a part of me is picking the Cowboys, trying to go with that reverse psychology again. Hopefully the Cowboys lose, but I don't know. D-Law and Diggs going to eat. Don't forget about Micah Parsons as well, too. 49ers perfect Dallas trap game. I hope you're right, Armand. As much as it sickens me to say this, Dallas is breaking their legs off in the 49ers. Maybe another 50 offensive output. Jeez. Wow. Okay. So big predictions there. All right. So I got the Cowboys. You got the Niners. The Pittsburgh Steelers found their way in the playoffs. Unlikely as it was, they found their way in with that horrible, just absolutely inexcusable loss from the Colts to a 2-14 Jags team that the fans were, I read this, I thought it was hilarious. The fans were literally protesting the team wearing clown outfits because that's how much they hated their organization, hated their team. And yet they find a way to keep the Colts out of there. But the Steelers are the beneficiaries at 9-7-1. They sweated it out all the way to the end of Sunday, and they're going against the defending AFC champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, who, after a rocky start being at 3-3, found their way to 12-5, sitting in the number 2 seed. They were a really close loss to the Bengals of taking the 1 seed. The Chiefs currently are 12.5-point favorites. Do the Kansas City Chiefs end Ben Roethlisberger's career?
Yep. 45-13. They gonna abuse the Steelers. Steelers is over. It's over. They going home. They coming home and sit right on the couch with me. Dang, this is a blowout by a million. They just got here just to go right back home. Blowout.
Oh, that is hilarious. Because guess what? I'm picking the upset in an unimaginable victory. Everything says the Chiefs are going to win this game. Everything. Excuse me. They have the better quarterback. Big Ben is over the top. They have a horrible offensive line. The Chiefs have a really solid offensive line. The Chiefs have a nice defensive coordinator, even though they're not super talented, even though they do have a couple of players, but they definitely have some holes. Everything says Kansas City is going to win this game. Kansas City has won 4 out of their last 5. Kansas City beat them 36-10 just 3 weeks ago. So they have no chance. But guess what? TJ Watt is on another level. They have a solid defense that could end up slowing this team down, forcing them to be one-dimensional, force Pat Mahomes to try to sling it, who's been very vulnerable this year to throw some picks, right? They have Najee Harris. They don't have a great O-line, but they have a great running back that can get rid of it. They have some weapons with Claypool, with Deontay Johnson, with the tight end, the rookie that's escaping me from Penn State, Pat Freiermuth. They have some weapons on offense. I say this is the most unlikely playoff victory today. And I think the Steelers do it for Big Ben. They're going to be playing with so much heart. Big Ben does not want to go out like this. Big Ben and the Steelers are going to upset the Kansas City Chiefs. For the first time in his career, Pat Mahomes faces a first-round exit. How do they respond? How do the Chiefs respond afterwards? That is going to be the storyline. So I know I'm going out on a limb. I know it's very unlikely. They're giving me a 24.1% chance to be correct, but this is my upset pick because I've gone chalk the rest of the way. Steelers over Chiefs. You want to change your pick? Did I convince you?
No.
I thought I was super convincing. No, Steelers going to turn up like Haskins at a strip club. If the Steelers win, every single Yinzer will suffer a stroke. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good. Yins. How Yins doing? All right. The last game of the Super Wild Card weekend on Monday night, 8:15, the Arizona Cardinals facing the Los Angeles Rams. This is probably between this game and the Patriots-Buffalo game. that could be the most interesting. It's 58% chance they're giving the Rams to win this game, but the Cardinals are getting a little bit healthier. I think they're going to get DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt back, which would be huge for them. Oh, no, wait. Oh, they put J.J. Watt on injured reserve? That's unfortunate. I thought he was supposed to come back, but they just put him on injured reserve yesterday. Tough. Okay, well, I got that one wrong. Matt Stafford right now is questionable. I'm sure he'll play, though. What do you think about this matchup?
Got the Rams.
Urinating Tree won't be able to upload for a week. You got the Rams in this one.
The Rams.
So you don't what do you think about this game? Is it going to be a good game, a close game, a blowout? Like,
I think it's gonna be a good game, but
you think it's going to be a good game?
The Rams just have too much.
It's interesting. What did they? I know Rams at least beat them once, and they beat them 5 weeks ago. What was the first time they played? They lost to Arizona the first time, so they split in the regular season when the Cardinals were a bit healthier. But you could also argue Stafford was still getting used to his new offense. It was only week 4. They scored 30 points on the second chance. The Rams did. This is the toughest one to call, for sure. This toughest one to call. I am going to agree with you. I think Sean McVay, he's been to the Super Bowl before. He's got more playoff experience than Cliff Kingsbury. I think Arizona has been great this year, but I do agree. I think the Rams have a little bit more in the tank, and I think they find a way to win. I think the Rams win. So there you go. There's our playoff predictions, our playoff picks. If the Rams don't try to force feed Odell the ball, they should be straight. Yeah, I mean, they threw it to Odell like 3 times on that final overtime drive instead of trying to get Cooper Kupp the extra yardage to break the record. That was interesting. What's that?
I'm just saying, I think that's a stupid comment. Like,
so you think force
open,
feeding?
throw it to him.
Well, he wasn't. That was the point. That's the whole point of the force feed, is that he wasn't open, and he threw it into horrible coverage from a defensive perspective, and threw a pick.
That's Matthew Stafford's fault then for making a wrong decision. That doesn't necessarily mean you're force feeding a guy.
Well, yeah, he's trying to force feed Odell Beckham, even though he wasn't really open. He also dropped a one-handed pass for the first time that I've seen for a while. Odell Beckham did last week, which is interesting. But I think the Rams win. And there you go. So we both had the Bengals. We both had the Bills. You had Philly. I had Tampa. You had San Francisco. I had Dallas. You had Kansas City. I had Pittsburgh with the most unlikely upset ever. And we both had the Rams. So we have 3 out of 6 games different in this one.
I'm looking good.
You looking good. We both have a team with 9 wins winning. You got the Eagles over the Bucs. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have a team that's 13 wins losing, and I have a team with 12 wins losing. We're good at predicting. We're good. We're good. All right. Well, that's all I got for the week. You got any last things that you wanted to talk about?
No.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out with us.
Look who just decided to join the party.
DMV Sports Zone in the house. If you haven't gone and subscribed to their channel, they do great work. That guy Naughty sucks, right? Like, he is terrible. But I really like Evan. Evan is probably my favorite of the DMV Sports Zone. Naughty is so boring and just terrible to watch. So don't watch his videos. But Muhammad, not Muhammad. I always get it wrong. It's not Muhammad. It's crap. What's that other guy's name? It just Abdullah. He does some good stuff too. And then they also have the other guy. Oh my gosh, I can see his face. Is it Nathan? No. Crap. What's the other guy's name? I forget. They all do good stuff though. Evan is probably my favorite though. Actually, I like Evan.
Running tomorrow.
There ain't no running tomorrow. Yeah,
No
we'll
more
see
running
DMV Sports Zone
tomorrow.
on the channel.
Yeah,
No, and of
no
course I'm
more.
joking. I just gotta say that out loud. Naughty's great too. Naughty does good stuff. But I do like Evan. I like Evan's weekly breakdowns of the DMV sports. It's concise, it's short, it's to the point, gets some good information out there. It tells you the week ahead, what happened last week, and how they're doing, and it gives you a good feel for the rest of the DMV sports teams that maybe you don't follow that much. Like I don't follow the Virginia teams all that much, like Virginia Tech, University of Virginia, stuff like that. I don't really follow Georgetown, so it's kind of cool to see the local teams and how they're doing. But anyway, all right, well, as I said, we will be on the ProTech Sports Network tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So if you want to come out and hang at that, I'm sure I'll share it on this channel. Also, we will have skins in the game tomorrow before that, so me and my dad will go ahead and have a good conversation there. And yeah. Any last things?
Nah, that's it.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks for everybody for being here, and until next time.